There is a no inscribed in the deepest tissue of your foundation prior to thought, to doubt, to any reason the mind can formulate. That no lives in the inner curve of the pelvis, where the inner iliac margin compresses the primordial impulse to advance before it becomes gesture, decision, or real presence. You recognize the effect: projects that lose force midway, will that exists but stops before taking form, fatigue that persists beyond rest. The point of creative inertia lives in this deep fold. But today, your vital force will circulate again. There is a sensation that conscious, talented people with clarity of purpose carry in silence, the sensation of holding clear desire and meeting resistance in the passage to movement, trying to begin a project and feeling the impulse sink before it leaves the ground, trying to position yourself differently in the world and noticing a weight in the foundation, the breath rising to the chest, the hips stiffening as if the body were signaling caution, safety first. This pattern tends to appear as lack of discipline, procrastination, or fear of failure. What somatic neuroscience reveals is different. The blockage is inscribed in the fascia, in the muscle, in the breath. It is a bodily instruction recorded before the mind learned to form choices. The pelvis holds this code as an ancient file, still active, organizing each advance through a filter of retention that remains beyond the reach of isolated consciousness. What we will move through here opens a layer. For those who want to deepen this process progressively, the somatic map Healing in Motion brings together 22 cycles that move through the pelvic foundation, low breathing, and the restoration of vital force with guided progression so that each session advances deeper. If you feel this is the moment, access is pinned in the first comment. Stephen Porges demonstrated that the autonomic nervous system operates in hierarchical states of response. The most primitive state, dorsal collapse, is activated when the organism interprets the environment as severe and continuous threat. In this state, the body retreats, reduces expansion, conserves energy, freezes the impulse, the pelvic musculature contracts, the breath rises. The inner iliac margin, the passage structure between the central axis and the legs, stops conducting flow and begins to hold. What makes this pattern persistent is that it learns. Once the nervous system discovers that contracting the foundation offers protection, it does so automatically, even when the original threat has ended. Pelvic retraction becomes permanent posture, bodily identity. The iliopsoas connects the lumbar spine to the thigh through the pelvis. It crosses the inner iliac margin, carrying the impulse to advance. When this muscle remains in containment, the stride loses amplitude, steps shorten, thoracic expansion diminishes. The force that should circulate from the foundation to the shoulders to the hands to creation stops at the groin fold, like water dammed in a blocked channel. Peter Levine described trauma as a motor response the body initiated and kept suspended. The pelvic fascia holds this suspension as permanent microcontraction, a muscle ready to depart that waited too long for permission. Conscious touch combined with low breathing offers the tissue new information. The impulse can complete itself now. In the Hermetic tradition, the body is the densest plane where will takes form. The pelvis represents the lower vessel, the container where intention must descend to the bones before emerging as action. When the vessel is closed, intention circulates in the upper layers, disconnected from the foundation where it would gain form and weight. The person plans, desires, visualizes, and the concrete gesture awaits permission to emerge. Reopening the vessel is a ritual act. It requires presence, direct physical contact, and breath directed exactly where the retention lives. This no is rarely chosen. It arrives through learning, a childhood where desire generated guilt, a family environment where expressing will brought punishment, relationships where advancing resulted in loss, lineages marked by intense survival where contracting the foundation was the most intelligent response available at that moment. The body did what it needed to do, but the contraction that protected becomes bodily identity. The person begins to confuse prudence with paralysis, waiting with destiny, retreat with wisdom. The emotional field retained in the pelvis holds shame for wanting more, guilt for desiring to be seen, fear that advancing will bring loss again. Today's ritual enters directly into that field. Lie on your back on a firm and comfortable surface. Bend your knees and place your feet on the floor at hip width. Your arms rest alongside your body with palms facing up, jaw loose, eyes closed. Begin by locating your breath. Inhale through your nose, counting mentally to 4, directing the air toward the lower abdomen and pelvic floor. Feel the abdomen expand gently outward. Exhale through your mouth in 6 counts, long and slow. Complete 3 full cycles in this rhythm to arrive in the body before any other instruction. Now locate the iliac crest, the prominent bone at the upper lateral part of the pelvis, the one you feel when you rest your hands on your hips. Slide your fingers toward the interface of that structure, moving slightly downward toward the lower abdomen. You are seeking the inner iliac margin, the upper inner curve of the pelvic foundation. This area is softer to the touch than the outer edge. There may be density there, a subtle resistance, or a light sensation of discomfort when the fingers reach the point of greatest retention. When you find that point, apply firm and gentle pressure with your fingertips, as if resting the intention of contact onto the tissue. The pressure is sustained, constant, with the warmth of your hands delivered to the muscle. Inhale deeply through your nose. On the exhale, allow your fingers to deepen gently, following the tissue's resistance with care, with respect for the rhythm the body shows. Pay attention to the side that feels denser or more resistant to contact. Usually one side carries the retention with greater intensity. Give particular attention to that side first. Hold your fingers in this position for 60 to 90 seconds. Continue with the breathing rhythm, 4 counts to inhale, 6 to exhale. What you may feel during this time: diffuse warmth spreading from the pelvis toward the lower back, a soft pulse beneath your fingers, fine tremor in the surrounding musculature, a spontaneous urge to exhale deeply, weight releasing in the hips. At certain moments, emotion may arise without any clear story, a lightness that precedes tears before they arrive, a deep relief without apparent reason. This is the tissue releasing what was compressed. Allow it to happen. After the first side, transfer your fingers to the opposite side, the same contact, firm and gentle pressure, breath directed toward the lower abdomen, full attention to what the tissue communicates. 60 to 90 seconds. To close, position both palms over the lower abdomen, one hand over the other. Breathe naturally for 2 minutes without conscious direction. Notice what has changed. Did the breath reach the belly? Did the hips sink heavier into the floor? Is there warmth circulating through the foundation? These are signs that the inner iliac margin responded. The tissue received different information and began to reorganize. This protocol can be resumed over 3 to 5 days. With each session, the tissue locates the point with greater ease, and what once took time to release begins to give way more quickly. The vital force that was held in the pelvis returns as a quality of presence, decisions that carry weight, projects that sustain their own impulse, an energy that once scattered, now finding direction and form. When the pelvis recovers its function as a lower temple, the creation that once circulated as idea begins to gain bones, ground, and presence. When the pelvis stops holding the old no, vital force finds ground to advance again. If this content touched something real in you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every video published here is built to deliver what most content never reaches. Write in the comments, "I release the no from my pelvis and open the path for my vital force to advance." And to continue this process with depth and progression, Healing in Motion is pinned in the first comment. 22 complete somatic cycles to deepen exactly what we opened here. What awakened today wants to continue. Click on the icon appearing on your screen and watch another transformative video from the channel. Your body always knew the path. It was only waiting for you to arrive where the retention lives, to touch it with real presence and say, with your whole body, you may advance.